Watch will be looking at numbers of issues starting from Edo State. Mob inches police for fatally crushing 3 people. On marriage, why many Nigerian women will be unmarried. That's from Reno or Mercury. On inflation, Nigerians opt for container house. Only implementation of agreement will stop nationwide strike. That's from Ajero. On health, FG plan foreign training for doctors. These are the issues we will be looking at today. You can join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. When we return from this short break, I will introduce my guests to you. Do stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Network, and joining me in this conversation is a lecturer and senior administrative staff at Clifford University, Abia State. I'm talking about Dr. Barido Thompson Okochi. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining me, Doctor.
Good afternoon, viewer. We appreciate you.
All right, the first story is from Edo State. An angry mob on Friday launched two mobile policemen who were part of the security details for Honorable Emmanuel Agbaje, the former lawmakers representing Akoko Edo Constituency 1 in Edo State House of Assembly. The incident occurred after the policemen were involved in a fatal accident in front of Ikpashi Grammar School. The officers were reportedly escorting Honorable Agbaje in a Toyota Hilux van when they collided with a motorcycle carrying a woman and a child. Tragically, the woman's student and motorcycle rider lost their lives in the accident. The policemen were attached to Police Mobile Force 19 in Port Harcourt, River State. And the police source who pleaded anonymity said in reaction to the death of the motorcycle rider, the woman and the child, the angry mob attacked the policemen and beat to death an inspector and a sergeant. He added that the youth invaded the Edo State Security Volunteer Network office in a locality where the policemen ran to their custody. He said the youth overran the facilities and beat two of the policemen to death, while the vigilante group also was able to rescue the other two officers. According to them, the angry mob were said to have attacked the vigilante officers and destroyed its furniture while threatening to deal with their members to try to rescue the police officers. Reacting to the incident, the chairman of Akoko Edo Local Government Area, Honorable Tajin Alade, condemned the dastardly act by the youth and commended the effort of the vigilante to save the lives of other policemen. Dr. Kochi, angry mob has actually sent two policemen to their early grave, injured other two for running over three people, that's killing three people. My interest is on the recklessness of police driving acts that has claimed the lives of a common Nigerian who, I mean, how can the government, I don't know, because it's government that are actually involved in this, the governors, the commissioners, the people of high calibers. How can they control excesses given that they take laws into their hands? Of course, there are laws guiding overspeeding, right? Reckless driving. But you see these people when they are escorting these prominent individuals in our society. They tend to drive as though they are trying to meet up emergency. If you actually get to know what these people, where these people are going and what they are trying to catch up, it's just to miss someone discuss one or two. What is the best way to curb this? What is the best way to control this? Because we are supposed to say, okay, let's report to the police that so-so person drove recklessly. But in a situation that are the ones doing it, what is the best way to handle it?
Immaculata, the very first thing we should look at is that our country, their country, Nigeria, is a place of impunity and lawlessness. You see that there are two sides of the matter. You drive recklessly because you are in a police van, you are escorting a big man, so you are above the law. That's one, because sometimes you see them even drive against traffic. That's impunity, that's lawlessness. Then you look at the mob. Mob action all over Nigeria is the same thing, extrajudicial killing. Because like you said, if somebody has knocked down some persons, the normal thing is that it is reported and then investigations are carried out and penalties are meted out. But over here, police has hit some people, they are dead, so let's hit them back. And they too are dead. So you just find us doing things the way we like, because it's a lawless country. It's a country of impunity. It's a country that anybody does anything and anything goes. This is not civilization. You don't find this in other climes where things are well done. But that is, by the way, that's the introductory part. The real thing you asked is, how do we curb this kind of excesses and reckless driving? It begins with orientation. But you see, the problem is that how do you give orientation when the general ambience of the country itself, you know, because I've always said if fish lives in muddy water, the fish will be muddy. If fish lives in salty water, the fish will be salty. If the police live in a reckless country, no matter how much training and reorientation, the recklessness will continue. So we just need to rearrange this country properly from head to toe, and then for the police, give them orientation, stop this kind of thing. But that's by the way. The other side is that our roads are narrow. If you ever leave this country and you travel out, you will see that what we call roads are not roads in other, they are tracks. What we have here, like Aba Road, for instance, sorry to say it, do you know that Aba Road, we think is an expressway? It's not an expressway. There are other places where you have 6 lanes here, 6 lanes, there are 12 lanes. But here, what you have is 2 lanes here, 2 lanes here. It's so narrow.
Dr. Okocha, are you blaming it on the road? You just set an instance now that if a fish lives in a muddy water, it will definitely look like one. Yeah. We are living in a country, according to you, that our road is narrow. And we have been here as long as, we were born. Is it not enough time for us to learn how to manage what we have? We should not manage illegality. No. Let me help you. Do you call narrow road illegal? It is illegal now. I mean, you have billions of naira voted for infrastructure, and you still have narrow track roads in 21st century? Is that a country or a jungle? Is that an excuse why one should drive recklessly? It's not an excuse. I agree with you. But we need to develop this country. This country has to be developed. This country is still looking like a jungle. Let me help you so you can understand very clearly. In other climes, and I'm saying it in other climes because I've traveled, I'm not widely traveled, but at least I've traveled. Okay. You have pedestrian lanes, you have lanes for motorcycles, you have lanes for bicycles, before you have lanes for cars, and then lanes for trucks. These things are widened. And you save yourself all these things we report every day. Now, Dr. Okocha, let's look at the mob action. And sure. Now, is this a good step? Can be having billions of naira. It's stolen and just kept somewhere in people's hands, and infrastructure is lean. Okay. What kind of country is this? All right, this has happened, but do you think the mob actually did the right thing by taking laws into their hands because you are saying that we are staying in a lawless country? No, and again, looking at the fact that the people involved in this accident, the policemen, they were actually accompanying the former lawmaker of this country. Yeah. Edo State. Edo State, right? Yes. This is a government person we're talking about. This is a person of high status. So do you think if they have taken them, it would have been easy if it would have been possible for them to face the law, or maybe that is why the mob happened to take laws into their hands? So, what do you think? Did they do the right thing by doing this? Exactly. Nobody is right in all that has happened. But you see, it's because we have set up things wrongly. In the first place, the judicial system is not trustworthy. Before you know it, one technicality will free the people. So the mob felt that, why all that? These people will be free, and then there will be no justice. So kill them. But that is also wrong. So all we just have is a systematic wrong. One wrong, and 2 wrongs cannot make it right. We need to reset this country. I've said it over 100 times in this studio. I'll keep saying it. Let us reset this country. Let's press reset. All right. The second story for today is on marriage. Social commentator Reno Omokiri has suggested that Nigeria could face a surge in unmarried women if the country has easier access to visas for travel abroad. This he blamed on the industrial money obtainer culture of Nigerian women, especially those from the southern parts of the country. He said he was not surprised that popular gospel singer Moses Bliss married a Ghanaian woman, adding that their women tend to be easier to relate with than many southern Nigerians. In an expose on Sunday, Omokiri noted that when southern Nigerian men travel within Africa and outside Africa and encounter beautiful women who are not money conscious, they quickly lose their appetite for Nigerian women. He claimed that Nigerian men are considered a catch by South African and and Kenyan women. He added, we urgently need a cultural reorientation amongst our women, especially in southern Nigeria. Dr. Okochi, a social commentator, Reno Omokri, has claimed that there would be an epidemic of unmarried women in Nigeria if the country has visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to more countries. Now, he talked about the monetization of relationship in southern Nigeria. It's just too suffocating. How true is that? Omakri said that he was not surprised that the popular gospel singer Moses Bliss got married to a Ghanaian woman because they are easily related, tend to be related than Nigerian women. And then he's talking about that we like money. I'm a Nigerian, that is why I'm saying we. Do you think that Nigerian women are so money conscious in relationship? That is why some of us, some women are still here and not married, because he's saying that if they have opportunity, if our men, they have opportunity of traveling out, they might not even look at us. They might not even marry us. So they are marrying now because we are in a confined area and they need to marry. Are Nigerian women really money conscious, according to Omokri?
Immaculata, the first thing I will like to say is that Honorable Reno Omokri has expressed himself because we have freedom of expression. He's a human being. He is fallible, he may have some shortcomings, but I'm looking at generally what is the message he has. You see, I'm not going to talk about Moses. I'm going to deal with the ideological side, which is what is the problem that he's addressing. The problem he's addressing is what he has described, and I've also said that those who follow me on different social handles, social media handles, I say this commercialization of romance and monetization of relationship. That is the issue he's addressing. Now, whether it is northern women or southern women or western women or eastern, that's not even the issue. Now, whether it involves South African women or Nigerian women or Kenyan women is not my business for now in this studio. My business now is, let us look at the issue, the burning issue, the issue of commercialization of romance and monetization of relationships. It is a truism. When we say something is a truism, it means it is a reality, it is going on. Many Nigerian women, I won't say all, because there are still good ones.
Like
but
me.
Many, yeah. Did you say like you? Well, I have not tried you before, so I wouldn't know. Your husband should be able to describe that. but many Nigerian women have that orientation. It's an orientation. That's why he said we need a reorientation. It may not necessarily be that that is how they want it, but that is how the society has built them, has cultured them. And you have this peer influence. This man gave me this. So when they want to enter into a relationship, it is that picture they already have is going to give me. It is the getting that pushes them into relation, not the giving, not the sacrifice, not the genuine love. And so Reno is raising an issue that our girls need to look into. You are not a man, so you wouldn't understand what men face, but I'm a pastor, so sometimes people come to me to give me, they want to get some counsel. You start chatting with a lady. I'm just going to give you an illustration, a vivid illustration. And some ladies who are watching us now will immediately identify with that and say, yes. You start chatting with a lady, and the next thing is that her gas has finished.
Hey, wait.
When did we start? You don't even know my name. You don't know my surname. Your hair, the hairdo is time.
That's so coachy. We saw in a particular story, I think that was on the social media, where a young girl said she's still a virgin. And I mean, the person that granted her interview asked her, why are you still a virgin at this age and looking at what you carry? And she said, any man that wants to marry me must make sure that he trained me to school. Through school, I mean to say. Must open shop for my sister, stock the shop with so many things before I can say yes. According to her, a man must invest in her before she said, yes, I will date you. No marriage. All right? So, but I know that you are saying he said, and you are equally saying that some of many Nigerians, right?
It's a mentality.
But
It's an orientation.
what kind of orientation do you think they need to give our young ladies? Because if you now you see marriage counseling online now is, if a man cannot afford to buy you this, buy you hair, buy you that, buy you this, she said a no. If you know that this man cannot, before our parents used to say, if a man cannot take care of you, said no, and that was putting food on the table, making a woman comfortable. But it seems the advice of if a man cannot take care of you of then is different from if a man cannot take care of you of now. Please, can you draw the thin line?
Exactly. What we need, like you asked, what kind of reorientation? What we need is to remove, extract, and throw away what we call a dependency syndrome. You see, when you raise a young lady, when you raise the girl folk, the girl child, to see herself as a weakling, I must lean on someone to survive. She grows that way, and any small hello, she tells you her rent has expired. Because she sees you now as ATM. In fact, as you are coming, as you are asking her what is your name, she's already saying Zenith Bank. She's saying UBA. That's wrong. Our girl child should not see herself as a getter. She should be trained to see herself as a giver.
But women are generally receivers. We receive. We are meant to receive. So don't you think so?
See, you can say that with moderation. In other words, you can receive and still give. Because we have stories where Elisha, the woman, suggested to the husband, can we make a small place for him? Let's provide. So a woman can make those things. You can provide. You must not always be a getter. You can be a giver. The Queen of Sheba, who visited Solomon, gave gifts to Solomon. She didn't come as a getter, even though Solomon is the world's richest then. But she came with gifts to Solomon. So our girl child should also learn to give. You can get, no problem. So if women are designed to receive, I agree. But you are not designed to receive throughout. Somebody told me one day and said, God gives and forgives, but we get and forget. The woman should not be that.
Oh, wow. Woman, don't
The woman should not be that. A Nigerian woman should not be that. We cannot build this country on that kind of philosophy.
Women don't get
and get
keep
and
getting
and forget
and
forget to give
and forgive
like God.
Like God. All right, the next story is on inflation. As Nigeria's economic challenges persist, various aspects of Nigerian life, including housing and rents, are feeding the impact. The high cost of cement has led many to seek alternative building materials, as cement is traditionally used in construction. For instance, Mr. Falawe Adarin, an auto dealer in Benin, has planned to build a bricks office on less land but abandoned the idea due to the expensive cost of cement, block, and sand. It took me nothing less than 2 million to build a 2-room and toilet a few years back, but when I started my business, now I receive a quotation of 4 million to do such on a less land, as I intended to build another branch for my business. The engineer told me that he had to cut costs to arrive at the figure, which exclude workmanship. He cited the cost of cement and sand, which is also affecting the price of blocks. I had to resort to building with containers. This building is made with containers and is heat-free, as people used to think, because with container attracts a lot of heat. My business owner, whose businesses require building on lessened land and personnel land, are now using containers to build. That is what the economy has turned everyone to. Business is not smiling because the economy is not. It is only a well-to-do man involved in fraud that will be comfortable with the way the economy is. Even when you build with bricks in those days, it takes you a few years to recover that what you have spent on such a building if it is for commercial purposes. Dr. Kochi, according to the story we had here, the high cost of cement, which is making people seek for another building alternatives, is pushing many to opt for container houses, because even house owners who built decades ago have also increased their rent. And they are talking about container houses, all right? And he's saying that it's not as hot as people think, as people see it to be. But at least I've been in a container apartment for a few hours, and then I could imagine the heat. And you know that in our country, we're actually battling with electricity. How do they stay in a container house when we do not even have lights for you to think of fan, think of AC first? Remember that he's talking about, the person in question is talking about business. You go there and come back in no time, but houses where you sleep. So how can they manage without electricity?
This issue now, how I wish the handlers of our economy are going to look at it so that they will understand that when they are making policies, there are implications, there are consequences. You see, I listened to a motivational speaker one day who was saying that oftentimes we take decisions without considering the consequences. These are the consequences of the economic policies that are going on now. Very soon, this thing will go around. It will go viral. People will start living like rodents in different corners that human beings ordinarily will not live. What will anybody be talking of a container? It's just like, if you permit me to digress, it's just like this issue of keke. The fact that we are using keke, can you use keke in Dubai? Can you use keke in London? It just shows that we are backward. So going into container now, like as if you are a pet, you are now going to a cage in container. It shows that this country, it's really coming down. The price of cement, 3,000 before. 2 years ago, it was 3,000 something. 7,000, 11,000, 13,000.
Dr. Kochi, let me ask a fast one.
It's an economic issue.
I am wondering, why would house owners that built house 20 years ago increase house rent when they did not buy a new bag of cement, when they did not do any renovation, they did not do any construction, because they just heard that, oh, there is hardship in the country and cement, a bag of cement is now expensive, it's no longer affordable. So they just skyrocket their house rent. Why?
Sure, they did it because the leader of the country did such a thing. How can you just come up during your inauguration speech and just say subsidy is gone forever?
How does that affect the house that was built long ago?
Everything spirals up now. Everything just goes up. See, I have told you over and over, fish that lives inside salty water will be salty. Fish that lives inside muddy water will be muddy. You cannot just come up on a day, the day of your inauguration, the day we're expecting something, the nicest thing from our president, the next thing, subsidy is gone forever, so every other thing goes up forever.
Dr. Kochi, how does that affect house that was built 20 years ago?
I have explained. Because everything skyrockets, everybody skyrockets everything. The president himself led it, and so people are following.
All right, this is society.
Is he not aware of the consequences of that statement he made?
This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return after this short break. Do stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human trafficker.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back. This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. You can join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Instagram, Atlantic X, Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. And now the rest of our stories. The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Department of State Service, DSS, are in face of over the planned nationwide protest. The NLC insisted that only the federal government honoring its agreement with Labour will prevent the strike. In a letter dated February 29, 2024, the NLC dismissed the government's claim of fulfilling 80% of the October 2, 2023 agreement and urged the government to be transparent about its fulfillment of the agreements to avoid escalating unrest among citizens. Your statement suggesting that the government has fulfilled 80% of the said agreement has raised a lot of worries among our members. As key stakeholders to that agreement, we feel compelled to address these issues as it may mislead the public and undermine the trust that ought to exist between the government and the Nigerian people, especially that which ought to exist between us as social partners. Upon careful examination of the 15th point outline in October 2, 2023 agreement, it is evident that most of them has not been fully met. Dr. Okochi, the NLC insisted yesterday that the only thing that would stop the planned nationwide strike over the hardship in the country was the federal government's honoring of the agreement it had with the Labour. That was in 2023. And now the FG has actually promised 25,000 cash transfer to 15 million poor households. It has not been materialized. The tax waiver for workers, small businesses, and general public which was supposed to reduce hardship on the populace, has not been implemented. And the federal government are saying that they have honored, they have done 80% of what the NLC asks. And they are saying, no, you have not done this. How do you give 5 naira to a child and the baby is saying, I didn't see 5 naira, you insisted? Is it that NLC, they did not notice that 80% was done? Or is it that the federal government is trying to bring something that looked like a mirage that will just stop this protest? What is your take?
What the government ought to do, you know, if you remember, Immaculata, I've said it over here. If government wants to be transparent, government should issue a joint statement with NLC. That is how you save yourself about a credibility crisis. Okay. Issue a joint statement. Both of them should craft that statement. Government should not on its own just say, we have given you 80%. You can't be doing that in an enlightened society. Bring NLC together, say, see what we have done, agreed, agreed. See what we have done this one, agreed, agreed, agreed. Is it up to 80%? Then they jointly issue it to Nigerians. But if government goes behind NLC to be saying such things, Nigerians know who to choose.
Really. And again, we have another thing here. The Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi of Ebonyi State, says residents of Southeast will not join their counterparts in other regions to protest against the high cost of living that the President, Bola Tinubu, has solved the major problems of region, which said was the miscreant clash between farmers and the herders. So, I mean, this, I just have to look at this too, because I am wondering why, is this what they say, that, is this the normal saying that birds of the same feather flocks together?
Well, with due respect to the Honorable Minister of Works, Engineer Dr. David Umahi, this is a distraction and a digression from the real issue. Well, the problem of this country, the problem why the economy has regressed is not headers. The problem of headers is there, but that's not why the economy. That's not why cement is 15,000. That's not why there is no. That's not why there are no roads. That's not why there is no light. That's not why petrol is 800 naira per liter. That's not the reason. So what he's doing is just distracting us and digressing. With due respect to him,
is it trying to
sure
is it trying to make the TEC, the NLC, and I mean others to not protest? Like you say, is digressing. Is it what he's trying to do? Because I'm wondering, in this kind of hardship in the country, he's saying, Umahi is saying that Tinubu has done majority of what was actually disturbing, especially Ebonyi people, and I'm wondering, why did you think he's doing that?
No. David Umahi knows what he's saying. I won't say that he does not know what he's saying. He knows what he's saying, but he has not gotten the point. The reason why the Southeasterners are not joining in protests that you find in Kano, in Minna, in Lagos, Abuja, that's what he's trying to address, but he's not addressing it. The reason why Southeasterners are not doing so is a completely different thing. Completely, which is not before us right now. But my point is, Umahi has digressed. He has derailed completely from what he was about to say. He knows what he's saying, but he missed the point.
All right, let's come back to this. The NLC, they are of opinion, they are insisting that they will not go back on the strike until the federal government meets all their demands, implement everything that they are demanding for. And again, you know, the federal government is as if they have something more priority projects to pay attention to. Are they going to keep protesting year in, year out, day in, day out, if the federal government has not done the needful? How long would they keep doing this? Because it's more like protest, it's no longer hearing the supposed result.
Yes, it may not yield, but there's no other option. Which other option? Because if you exhaust all the other options of negotiation, discussion, even including prayers, and they don't work, the next thing is you down your tools.
You just keep protesting.
Yeah, yes, because That's all that is remaining. The reason is this, and the reason why protests will continue is that which incites protests have not ended. You cannot clear the cobweb, but spare the spider.
Okay, now looking at it, the TUC
Yes.
pulled out from this protest. The CEOs equally pulled out because they are saying that this protest is going to even lead to more hardship, worsen the hardship in Nigeria. And that the miscreants might actually take over this protest. It might make them to come in. And why is it that these two have decided to pull out? Definitely someone was behind the closed doors talking to them, right? So how come it's only the NLC that is still persistent? Is this really for the interest of Nigerians?
For me as an individual, I may be wrong, but for me, this even the way TUC, Trade Union Congress, how it came about in itself is a history that needs to be revisited. Because what we grew up having Nigerian Labour Congress only. It was composite, NLC. But trying this divide and rule style, which was what the colonialists did, divide and rule. Someone engineered TUC, and this is the result. So that whenever there is a composite plan, your hands, they can easily go to why is it that they could not convince NLC? I almost said NUC. Why didn't they convince NLC to pull out? But it is TUC, because TUC was formed for that purpose, the purpose of pulling the rug from under the feet. And so they're only exemplifying why TUC was formed.
And then the president is saying that 9 months is actually too small for Nigerians to start asking unnecessary things, that they should hold on. I want to ask, what do you have to say about that?
Whoever makes that statement is just being economical with the truth.
The president is economical with the truth?
Yes, he's just being economical with the truth. The reality is this: from day one, you were sworn in for the welfare and prosperity of Nigerians. You were not sworn in for 9 months after. There is no text that says, Mr. President, as you are sworn in now, the dividends of your being sworn in shall come after 9 months. If there is a document like that, let us see it.
But again, why do you think the federal government found it very difficult to implement the tax wager for the people? Why do they find it difficult to carry out? Because the federal government said they were going to pay, I think that should be 25,000 to 15 million households. Why are they still waiting? What is stopping them?
The simple reason is that we don't keep promises in this country. Our leaders don't keep promises. So one leadership, one administration inherits from another administration that tells lies. That's just all.
Alosua, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, has announced the federal government's intention to send medical personnel abroad for specialized training. These initiatives aim to reduce medical tourism and boost research in Nigeria. Dr. Alosua mentioned that the Federal Ministry of Health is collaborating with the National Postgraduate Medical College in Ijainken, Lagos State, to implement this plan. He said, I am to announce that the college, in collaboration with the ministry, is establishing training in many other subspecialties to be able to treat Nigerians, reduce medical tourism, and enhance research. The FMOH is putting mechanisms in place to fund this training abroad for selected candidates who will be bonded. Surgical oncology in the Faculty of Surgery and the transplant surgery in the Faculty of Surgery. The super specialty training is solid organ transplants will focus on kidney, liver, lungs, and heart transplants for now. Another one we have here, the government plans to send some medical personnel abroad for training in certain specialties with a view to checkmate medical tourism and enhance research. Is the root cause of brain drain in the medical sector as a result of unprofessionalism, lack of training, or research? Is that what the health workers are clamoring for?
Nigeria is becoming a jest. It's becoming a joke. Why, when will this country grow and other people will come here to be trained? You are over 60 years. At the age of over 60 years, you are still crawling to go and be trained to waka. If you permit me to use that local parlance. You are still being trained. How many Indians come to Nigeria to be trained? How many Japanese doctors come to Nigeria to be trained? How many Sudanese doctors come to Nigeria to be trained? How many people, how many professionals from Dubai come to Nigeria to be trained? When will this country grow? When will this country grow? Stop crawling, stop wearing pampers at 60. What is the minister saying? You look at when the minister talks about medical tourism, he's saying, the implication is he's saying that he wants to stop where Nigerians seek medical help outside. That's the meaning of medical tourism. But the strategy is you first of all export Nigerians out. That place where you are saying Nigerians should not go. Nigerian professional medical professionals will first be exported to the places you don't want us to go. Then it is only when they return that you will stop. So while they are still there, it means we can still be going until they return. What kind of reverse intelligence is that? What kind of reverse intelligence is that? If you find a way, you will run.
I thought you wanted to say because, you know...
If you find a way, you will run.
If students goes out there for studies, when they are done, they will definitely return. But I thought you wanted to ask, when they return, what is the guarantee they are going to stay?
Let us begin with what is the guarantee that if you send 1,000 out, that 1,000 will return? Don't they like good things that their colleagues left Nigeria for? So that's a risk. My point is that is a risk.
Okay, Dr. Kochi, let's assume that this will be implemented, all right, because this is a theoretical aspect we already know.
That's true.
Let's assume that it will be implemented, and so many of them will go out there for training, and of course also return. Do you think it will have a way of encouraging others to stay that are having in mind to travel? Do you think?
Question: for how long will we continue to be appendages?
But this kind of initiative have not actually happened before.
Who said it has not happened? It's because probably we have not read it in this studio before. That is what every other government wants to do. Training our people outside and bringing them back just like that. It has been happening. It's Immaculata. Thank you, viewer.
And to our viewers, YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching and continue to stay connected on ATN Socials till we come again. Good afternoon.